Welcome student on another video lecture. Today's topic is section 2 of Good Agriculture Guidelines for Good Agriculture Practices for Herbal Raw Material. In that, first point is identification and authentication. The botanical identity, that is scientific name, which includes genus, species, subspecies, variety and family of each medicinal plant under cultivation, and should be verified and recorded. That means whatever the plant which is undergoing cultivation, the complete botanical identity of that plant should be done. For example, in case of senna leaves, kingdom is Plantae, order Fabaceae, family Fabaceae, genus Cassia, species Angustifolia. So the name, scientific name is Cassia angustifolia. Other common names which includes, in English it is known as Indian senna, in Sanskrit it is known as Swarnapatri, and the scientific name is Cassia angustifolia, whereas another variety, that is Cassia acetifolia, is known as Alexandrian senna. Such type of classification should be identified of each and every medicinal plant which is undergoing cultivation, and it should be recorded as per the guidelines of good agriculture practices. If available, the local and English common name should also be recorded. Documentation of botanical identity should be included in the registration file as a specimen. So the complete identification and authentication is done by qualified botanist and a reputed laboratory or herbarium, and it should be registered in the file as a specimen. Second is ecological, environment and social impact. The introduction of non-indigenous medicinal plants species into cultivation may have detrimental impact on biological and ecological balance of the region. So whenever the non-indigenous plants are used for cultivation, it will produce certain detrimental effect, such as it alter the chemical composition of soil, suppress native species and exploit groundwater resources. Such type of effects are produced whenever the non-indigenous medicinal plant species are used. So indigenous species are generally used for cultivation. In terms of local income earning opportunities, small scale cultivation is often preferable. According to the guidelines, the local income opportunities should be taken into consideration, and if preferable, the small scale cultivation is done so that the local community will get benefits directly. They will give employment opportunities, and the fair wages should be given to these employees, and the capital which is collected from that cultivation, that can be reinvested according to the guideline of good agriculture practices. Means according to good agriculture practices guideline, the cultivation should be carried out in that particular local area, so that the peoples who are living in that particular region or area, they will get benefit from that, they will get employment from that, and fair wages should be given to them, and the capital which is collected from that can be reinvested for further production. Next is site selection. The medicinal plant material derived from same species can show significant differences in quality when cultivated at different sites. So same plant species is there, but if it is cultivated at two different sites, it will give different quality of crop as well as different yield of crop. For example, in case of saffron, it requires cold climatic condition. If such saffron is cultivated in Jammu and Kashmir, it will give good quality raw material as well as yield is also more, but same species is cultivated in hot weather, the quality of plant will be yield will be inferior. So according to the nature and type of herbal raw material, the proper site should be selected, and the site should be free from that area, or site should be free from contamination, the pollution of soil, pollution of air or pollution of water by hazardous chemical should be avoided. Next point is personnel. Growers or producers should have formal or informal practical education and training of the medicinal plant concerned. Whatever the persons who are dealing with cultivation of particular herbal medicinal plant, they should have formal and informal practical education. This should include botanical identification, proper identification of species they are able to do. For that, morphological identification of species, that information or practical training should be given to that grower or producer so that they can identify a proper species cultivation characteristic. For example, the proper standard operating procedure for cultivation of that particular plant, that information should be given to the grower or producer. For example, in case of senna leaves, it requires red loamy soil. First sowing is done in month of February and March. Second sowing is done in month of October and November. It is a light irrigated crop, and after 2 to 3 months of sowing, first plucking is done for collection of leaves. Second plucking is done 1 month after first plucking, and third plucking is done after 4 to 6 weeks of second plucking. In this way, the total leaves are collected by plucking method in 3 stages, and after complete collection of leaves, then the plants are uprooted. This is the standard operating procedure which is followed for senna leaves. So in this way, that complete information should be given to the grower or producer, so they will follow the standard operating procedure for cultivation to get a good quality herbal raw material. In that, which type of soil is required, pH, for example, in case of OPM 7 pH is required, highly fertile soil is required. In case of plant spacing, for example, aloe, 50 cm distance is required between two plants. Such are the different requirements for different types of plant. So according to the type of plant and need of the plant, the proper standard operating procedure should be followed by the grower and producer, and the proper information should be given to them so that a good quality herbal raw material can be produced, as well as means of harvest, storage, personal hygiene. The persons who are dealing in that, they should maintain their personal hygiene. Clean clothes should wear by this person. The clean equipment should be used during complete procedure, and it also and the information about the protection of environment also given to these people, so that they will follow biodynamic agriculture practices. They will prevent the use of harmful chemical fertilizers. Instead of that, they will use manures and compost, as well as which medicinal plant species are important, what is the importance of that species, and how that formulations are used for treatment of certain diseases. That information or knowledge should be given to them so that they will helpful in conservation of important medicinal plant species. Seed and propagation material. Propagation material should be free from any disease or contamination and provide all necessary information relating to the identity, quality and performance of their product as well as their breeding history, wherever possible. The materials used for organic production should be certified. So the propagation material or seeds which are used, that should be disease or contamination free. Most of the time, for most of the plants, seeds are used as a propagation material, but in some plants like aloe, root suckers are used. In Dioscorea, tubers are used. So whatever the propagation material which is used for cultivation, that should be free from disease as well as free from contamination, and its quality and identity should be verified and should be recorded. If the performance of that product or propagation material, earlier information is there that same type of raw material is used earlier for cultivation, what is the performance of that product, what type of yield is giving, how much concentration of active constituent they are showing, and what the formulation is giving effect. If the information about all that performance of that product is there, that information is also provided with the seed and propagation material, as well as if there is any breeding history, that information also should be given wherever possible. And if the herbal raw materials are under cultivation for medicinal purpose, then it should be certified, and the material should be 100% traceable, means whatever the information about that product, that should be available in the official books or pharmacopoeia, so that one can trace that material 100%, or proper documentation should be there of each and every step, so that the material should be 100% traceable. Next one is cultivation. Depending on the method of cultivation, collection or organic growers should be allowed to follow different standard operating procedures for cultivation. So standard operating procedure must be followed for the cultivation. For example, in case of aloe, it requires dry climatic condition. Root suckers are used for propagation. The distance between two plants is 50 centimeter. It requires nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium as important nutrient, and in second year the leaves are collected by giving incision at its base, and they are tilted in V-shaped vessel to collect aloe juice, and up to 12 years the aloe is collected from that particular plant, and after 12 years the complete uprooting of plant is done. This is the standard operating procedure which is followed for cultivation of aloe. So that information should be given to the grower or given to the cultivator, so that the person will follow the standard operating procedure and the good quality herbal raw material is cultivated and collected. Care should be taken to avoid environmental disturbances. The product under cultivation should not get deteriorated due to environmental disturbances. That care should be taken by the grower. Principles of good husbandry must be followed, including appropriate rotation of crop. The information should be given to the grower so that the rotation of crop is done by that person, so that it will maintain the soil fertility, because different types of crop require different type of nutrient, and same crop is taken in a soil for continuously, then it will cause deterioration of the soil, or soil fertility will reduce. For that reason, to maintain the soil fertility, the crop rotation technique is the information about crop rotation technique is given to that grower. Next one is soil and fertilization. Optimal soil conditions, including soil type, moisture retention, fertility, pH, as per selected medicinal plant. So optimal soil condition should be maintained, such as soil type. For example, in case of opium, highly fertile, well-drained, loamy soil with sand, fine sand is necessary, and pH 7 it required. Climatic conditions, which include cold climatic conditions, are favorable for its yield, but extreme cold condition adversely affect the yield of opium. So all these points are taken into consideration for cultivation of opium. Fertilizers, in case of Dioscorea, it requires huge amount of fertilizer, because it causes very exhaustive, it causes the soil exhaustive, and due to which it requires high dose of farmyard manure. Such type of requirements are there for different types of herbal raw material. For that reason, whatever the herbal raw material is selected according to the need of that herbal raw material, soil and fertilization are also selected. As such, medicinal and aromatic plants should not be grown in soil that is contaminated by sludge, heavy metals, pesticide residue, or other unnatural chemicals, because these herbal raw materials, they are used to prepare herbal formulation for treatment of certain diseases, and if such herbal formulations are contaminated with sludge or heavy metals, instead of giving therapeutic effect, it will produce toxic effect on the patient's body. For that reason, the medicinal plant or aromatic plant should not be contaminated, should not be cultivated in contaminated soil. The use of fertilizers and other chemical products should be as minimum as possible, in accordance with the demand of plant. As such, the chemical fertilizers are not used for cultivation of medicinal or aromatic plant, but if they are needed, their use should be as minimum as possible, and it should be documented. After that, next point is irrigation. Irrigation should be minimized as much as possible and only applied as per the needs of plant. So irrigation should be minimized and it is as per the need of plant. For example, the xerophatic plants like aloe and acacia, they don't need irrigation, otherwise the plants need irrigation, but it is as per the need of the plant. For example, in case of vinca plant, too much irrigation should be avoided because it will cause water logging. It is a light irrigated crop. Senna is also light irrigated crop. So as per the need of the plant, the irrigation should be given. Irrigation water should be free from contaminants such as feces, heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides and other hazardous substances. Whatever the water which is supplied to the herbal raw material or herbal plants, that should be free from contaminants or feces, heavy metals, otherwise it will produce toxic materials inside the plant, and the toxic effects are produced from the formulation on the patient body. For that reason, all the contamination of water, contamination of soil is completely avoided in case of cultivation of herbal medicinal plant. Next point is crop maintenance. Crop should be properly maintained during its cultivation. The tillage means preparation of land for growing crop. If the tillage is performed, then it will produce, it will be beneficial for the proper growth and development of plant. Healthy plants are produced and good quality raw material can be collected from these plants. For that reason, the tillage is used. But if the manures and compost are used properly and biodynamic agriculture practices are performed, then it will reduce the tillage process also. Pesticides and herbicides should be avoided as far as possible, and if the pesticides or herbicides are used, then it should be documented. Last point is harvesting. Harvesting should be done when the plants are in their best quality and quantity. Whenever you are dealing with the herbal raw material or medicinal plant, then the harvesting is the best time for harvesting is the plant which is at best quality and quantity, means the plant is having higher concentration of active constituent which are responsible for producing particular therapeutic or pharmacological effect, not the yield of crop. There should not be a focus on the yield of the crop, but it is on the quality of the crop, and quality of crop means having higher concentration of active constituent which is giving particular therapeutic effect. No foreign matter, weeds or toxic plants are mixed with the harvested medicinal plant. So the harvested medicinal plant is not mixed with the weed or any other toxic plant. Otherwise, what will happen if such plants are mixed with that and the powders are prepared from that, then that powder is adulterated powdered raw material, and it is very difficult to find out adulteration. For that reason, to prevent the adulteration, it should be free from weed, toxic plant or other mixed herbal medicinal plant. Harvesting should be done in optimum condition, because the wet soil, deep rain, high humidity can produce unfavorable effect. All these are unfavorable. The harvesting should not be done in rain or humid condition. It will deteriorate the collected herbal raw material. If harvesting is occur in wet condition, then the material should be transported immediately to indoor drying, so that after collection it should be immediately dried to prevent the contamination from moisture. Otherwise, due to moisture and microbes, the plant material immediately get contaminated. So all these are the guidelines for cultivation of herbal raw material, how that herbal raw material should be collected, what is the standard operating procedure should be followed, and what education or formal and informal information should be given to the cultivator or grower, so that a good quality herbal raw material can be produced. That is given in section 2 of guidelines for good agriculture practices. In next lecture we will see the section 3 of good agriculture practices. Till then, thank you.